Hello friends, SRILEKH here. Hope you're all doing well. In today's audio, I'm not here to discuss any book or to give you a book review. Rather, I'm here to share a discussion, a conversation which I had with a group of youngsters. I had a quick round of conversation which turned into an interview with the founder members of the Quill company. Before we move on to the interview part of it, I would like to share as to how I met these guys. So it was a Sunday and I had been to an event, a storytelling open mic event organized by the Half Baked Beans. I was one of the storytellers, and this event was powered by the Quill company. The event went fine. It was great, in fact. And by the end of the event, there was Neha Kabra, who came onto the stage and recited few poems. That's the first time I met these guys. There was also Devanshu. So after the event, I went across to them and I wanted to have a discussion with them because I found them to be quite confident. I was wondering as to how these youngsters were running their startup. So over to the interview part of it. The first question which I had in mind was, when did these guys start? They started as a writing platform in March 2017 and then moved on to spoken words in July 2017. Now, one thing which I wanted to know was, how did the Quill company happen? There was an interesting story which Devanshu and Neha had to share with me. They said it was a rant on a particular day which turned into a determination to establish a brand of their own. Interesting. I said, I want to hear more about it. What did this rant do and how did this help you in creating a brand? So they said overnight after the rant, they established the page, they created the page, they had their logo ready, the group was formed, and the next day they were raring to go. So lesson number 1 for me was, whatever may be the situation, if your energies are diverted in the right direction, one can create magic. And that is what these guys did. I was amazed. I said, tell me more about your team. They are a close group of people and they have multiple writers who are present across Ahmedabad, Kolkata, Lucknow, Delhi, Mumbai and Sri Lanka. They do have a number of photographers and videographers as well, but their group is pretty close. The next thing which I wanted to know was, did they know how to run the business? So they said that they did have previous experiences of working with other platforms, so they knew the nitty-gritties of it, they knew how to run it. So it must be a success, right, Neha? I said. How was your first step? What was your first step? Instagram, of course, they said. It all started with an impromptu meeting with some writers in Mumbai and they decided to have their first event. I was waiting to hear more. I said, how did the event go? Neha smiled at me. She said, you know what? It was a flop show. She continued to tell me that the venue was small, they did not have a videographer, but they did learn a lot from that. That's when these guys gave me the second lesson, when they said that instead of just running the show, they took a step back and they became observers for some time. I said, and then Devanshu pitched in. He said, we learned from being observers and our second event was quite a big success. So this was lesson 2, that before you chip in something, before you jump into something, it's better to be an observer for some time, learn from others and then start your own. Like any startup, I wanted to know about their funding part. Interestingly, these guys fund on their own. They rely on their salaries. In their group, some of them are working with organizations, some are students, so they save up from their pocket money, and that's how they're managing it. So I said, do you guys relate to the term work life balance? Neha said, truly speaking, if one has passion, work life balance takes a backseat. Lesson number 3 for the day. If you have to follow passion, you cannot do it in your comfort zone. You need to come out of it. And there's nothing known as work life balance. I said, tell me about your motto. We are a platform for the art first, then the artist, and then the audience. Art is our identity, Neha said. So guys, if you have a motto, you must have a vision, right? They have a clear vision of becoming a pan-India platform for art and to become a publishing house. So I said, what's your first book that you're going to publish or you have already published? That's when they said that Stardust and Fire is their first book and it was written by Neha. Devanshu told me that they did not want to risk any other authors or any other writers, so they decided to publish. He encouraged Neha Kabra to go ahead and write, and then they went ahead with it. The conversation did end here, but I took back a lot of lessons from these guys, and I'm still in touch with them. So if you want to get in touch with TQC, you can find them on Facebook. They organize a lot of event across India, and you can find Neha Kabra and Devanshu on FB and Instagram. Also about the book Stardust and Fire, I did a review. You can find it on my page. So with this, I'd like to congratulate TQC for doing what they're doing, and they're doing it absolutely wonderful. And I'd like to thank HBB for giving me an opportunity to meet these guys. So thank you all. Bye bye.